Alright, guys, today I'm going to come at you guys with my first 2021 NFL mock draft for the Detroit Lions. Um, so, this is just first rough draft. Everything's to change after pro days and such, since there isn't really going to be a combine. Um, it's a lot of the schools going to be hosting their own events. So, only time will tell and see what happens. But here is basically my Detroit Lions mock draft for what I have at the moment. So just placing players where they are anticipated to go. I do use Draft Tech for like my prospect rankings at the moment. Um, so there are a few players that I don't think will be there, but according to their rankings at the moment, that's where they are. So that's where I selected. This is basic off what I feel they need at that position and who's available at that said position. So leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this mock draft. So let's get to it. So, as we all know, the Detroit Lions carry pick 7 in the first round. I believe that they are going to trade this pick away because I do still believe that one or two of the top quarterbacks will still be on the board. So Atlanta, they move up to select their quarterback of the future and basically solidify younger quarterback. Hopefully, maybe do what the Dolphins did this year with Ryan Fitz and Tua. But anyway, I have the Atlanta Falcons trading us their 14th selection in the first round, their 68th in the third, as well as their 162nd pick in the sixth. So we move down to pick 14, and at pick number 14, I have the Detroit Lions addressing something that they should address, I think, in the first round, and that is pass rush. And I believe that they will select Gregory Rousseau if he is still on the board. According to Draft Tech, he was still on the board there, so I picked him up. Gregory Rousseau did opt out of the season, I believe. So he didn't play a lot or at all this season, if I am 100% correct. But he played at Florida. He shined last year. Very, very prominent pass rusher. And I believe that he will excel in Detroit, especially with the mentality that Dan the Man Campbell is bringing to Detroit. And I think that's something that Detroit needs is a good pass rush, and I believe that that's something that they will address in the draft, and I believe that's something that they will address in the first round. In all honesty, so moving on to the next pick at pick 41 in the second, I have the Detroit Lions addressing something that has been very lackluster as of late. There are a few bright spots at this position that we already have in place, and that is corner. Last year we got Jeffrey Okudah from Ohio State in the first round. I believe that was a decent pick. I believe he's going to have an awesome sophomore season as he was pretty banged up off and on all season. We do have Amari Aware, another corner, Desmond Trufant, Justin Coleman, but I don't see them two being with the team for much longer. Desmond Trufant, due to age, and Justin Coleman hasn't really produced since coming to Detroit. So I think that we need to address the corner position here. And someone that I believe is going to be a big physical corner, and Tyson Campbell at Georgia. He is basically a physical beast. Reminds me a lot of a Brandon Browner type. Big build, 6'2". He's a little bit slower, but I believe he could cover a lot of number twos, as we have Okudah already, who can basically cover teams' number ones. He did show bright spots this last year of covering number one receivers, and I believe that that's where he's going to be placed this coming season as the number one to cover number one. So that's what I'm doing here is Tyson Campbell, big physical corner, someone who can man press as well as play zone very well. And he does have good recovery speed, which watching film is very nice because if he fucks up, he can always make up for it on his back end speed. Moving on to the first pick, one of our first selections in the third round at pick 68, which we received from the Atlanta Falcons in the first round trade. I have us getting Seth Williams, wide receiver out of Auburn. I do believe that they are going to retain Kenny Galladay, bring him back. I believe he wants to come back. I think that Dan Campbell wants him to come back because Kenny Galladay is one of the top receivers in the league when he is healthy. He was banged up this year. Matthew Stafford was also a little banged up this year. So he really didn't get the targets he should have, and so on and so forth. But Seth Williams is another big physical wide receiver. He's 6'2", I believe. He's either 6'2" or 6'3". He's a bigger wide receiver. And I think that Jared Goff will actually excel with another top receiver on the roster. I think Seth Williams is going to be kind of like a Kenny Galladay, a later draft pick, someone that gets picked in day 2 and will come to shine in the light of playing with a great quarterback. But moving on to our second selection in the third round, which is going to address our linebacker position. Jarrad Davis, I don't think he'll be coming back. We really need to address that inside linebacker position. Jarrad Davis really wasn't much of a good inside linebacker. He really didn't have top end speed. His eye discipline wasn't very good. He couldn't really read the plays very well. But this guy, if he's still available in day 2 at the selection in the third round, Baron Browning, inside linebacker for Ohio State. He has great vision, great speed. He can basically play the whole field left to right. He does lack some decision making. He's great on the blitz though, which I think Detroit will do a lot of the linebacker blitz packages this year. Throwing in different packages for Gregory Rousseau, Trey Flowers, who we really can't dump yet, and stuff like that, just so we can get the blitz, get pass rush, make our defense top tier like it hasn't been in many, many years. I think that different blitz packages, bringing in different personnel, I think will help. Moving on to the next pick in the third round, which is pick 88, which we received from the Rams in the Matthew Stafford trade. And here we address nose tackle / defensive tackle, and that is Tedarrell Slaton. I don't believe he's going to be here. I think he's going to go in the top 2 rounds, but if he's here, I say we pick him up. This guy is a man-eater, and by man-eater, I mean he is a big boy. 6'5", 350, very quick off the ball. Basically, you're gonna need to double team him every single time. That's one less lineman that's going to go back and reach for the linebackers. And I really feel like he's going to excel. He reminds me a lot of a Haloti Ngata type player. Big physical guy that's going to eat blockers and as well as get a nice push on the ball. Kind of like Ndamukong Suh did in his prime, but he's not quite there yet. So I'm not going to compare him to Ndamukong Suh because no one's ever going to be like him except Aaron Donald. But anyway, Tedarrell Slaton there, coming to Detroit with the pick 88 selection. Coming in at selection 102 in the 4th. I have us getting someone who's very raw, someone that's very raw, someone that I think can learn from the other players on the team, and that is Charles Snowden. He showed a lot of bright spots, but he's also showed a lot of poor decision making. So that's why I think he's going to fall. He's a very raw player. He's kind of like an Ezekiel Ansah. We're kind of taking a risk, but that risk reward is there. I just think he's going to excel a little bit more than Ezekiel did, especially with the scheme. I don't blame anything on Ezekiel Ansah. He didn't really have the coaching to become the player that he could have been. So I think with the coaches that we have now, I believe that they will develop him. Charles Snowden is awesome, quick off the ball. He's 6'5", outside linebacker / edge. And I believe Detroit's going to be playing a 3-4 defense, which he'll be playing off the ball more. And I think that that's going to allow our outside linebackers to get that push like the Steelers. We're going to basically play like the Steelers, play a 3-4 base. It's going to be a nice change of pace and get an edge on the teams. So moving on to the next selection in the 5th, which is pick 136. Here I didn't really know what to do. There's many needs that we need on the other side of the ball, on offense, like offensive linemen, but I believe our offensive line, we have too much money rolled up into it right now, so I don't really think they're going to draft like a fourth or fifth round lineman. I don't see any need in that. So the only other position I can think of is tight end. We do have one of the best up and coming tight ends, TJ Hawkinson. I believe he's going to have a bigger role coming into this year, especially with our head coach being a tight end that played for Detroit. I believe that Hawkinson is a little bit more, he's going to be involved in the passing game a lot more. I think he's going to, basically, I think what Detroit's going to do with him is kind of put him in like the Jimmy Graham role. Like when Jimmy Graham played for the Saints, put him out in the slot, play him different positions on the field, because he is a mismatch. He ran a 4.6 or 4.5 40 at the combine 2 years ago. He's 6'5", 6'6", so he's a big target for Jared Goff. Jared Goff really didn't have like a top tier tight end in Los Angeles. So I think that Jared Goff's favorite target will be TJ Hawkinson along with Kenny Golladay this coming season, because he really didn't have those big targets, as well as a top-tier wide receiver, in all honesty. He had receivers, but he never had like a Kenny Golladay. But anyway, I think that Matt Bushman here, tight end out of BYU, is a great selection for Detroit. Sorry I ranted there, but the pick will be Matt Bushman, tight end out of BYU. He's more of a route runner. He needs to clean up his routes a little bit. He needs to be a little bit more crisp when he breaks. I just think that our head coach being a tight end, he wants to develop someone, especially having two top tight ends. Just look at what happened back in the day when Tom Brady, back in New England, when he had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. They were unstoppable. And I think that's something that Campbell sees, and he's going to be like, we need this in Detroit. Help my quarterback. Big targets that can catch the ball. That's what we need to succeed. Give me tight ends that can block, release, catch 5 yards every time. If you get 5 yards every time, that's first down in 2 drives. 3 yards, first down. So tight ends are going to be a big thing, I think, this year in our offense. In the last one, this guy, I think he's going to be a day 2 pick. But according to Draft Tech, guys, he was available, so I picked him up. This guy is a speedster. Reminds me a lot. I mean, a lot. Like Tyreek Hill. And this guy is no other than Dwayne Eskridge, the wide receiver out of Western. I mean, this guy is quick. He ran a 4.33. Okay. And that was his sophomore year. He has not ran a 40 since and been timed. I think he's a 4.26, 4.27 guy now. He has top end speed. He can play special teams. He could be played in the slot. Quick slants. That's where he excels the most. It's quick slants. This guy runs a slant seamlessly. I mean, he's boom, cut, perfect every time. That was, I believe, his favorite play. You could run him on a deep fade to the corner. I think he can beat every freaking... He's so fast, I believe he can beat every corner in the league. This guy is ridiculously quick. But anyway, sorry for some of the ranting, but this is my mock draft. Like, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you guys think. I do appreciate feedback. I will be having another mock draft, hopefully, after I get some more information. Probably middle of next month, I'll have another mock draft come out. But just like, subscribe to the channel. Like this video. I do appreciate it. A lot of time went into this, watching film and trying to learn different things about these different players that are coming out this year, because it is a different way of us people that make mock drafts. We've never had anything like this. We normally wait for the combine, where we do the pre-draft. Like they basically know what we're doing, but there really wasn't that much of a season this year, so it was hard to judge players. Some players opted out for the season, so it's harder for us to judge where players are going to fall. But as I said, subscribe my channel. Let me know what you guys think. I do appreciate every single comment. I will try to reply to as many comments as possible if I get a lot. I do appreciate it. Have a great night, guys.